I watched Rising Impact, the 2024 golf series on Netflix, and first thing I'll say is that I finished it in like 2 days, so I was definitely hooked on it. It's about a young boy named Gwaine in like the third grade who wants to be the longest hitter in the world, so hitting the ball the farthest, and no matter the sport. He eventually finds out that golf is the way to go with this, and so he decides to learn golf and realizes he likes it very much and he wants to get better at it to accomplish his dream of being the longest hitter in the world. This show really made me want to play golf, not for like competitions or anything, just watching them all work really hard, putting all their energy into something, and then having it accomplish a win or in some way, just felt like it would really heal the soul in some ways. Like, practice really does make perfect. In the show, they have all these characters who are really geniuses in the field, and they keep working hard to be even better, even though everybody says that they're just geniuses, they're just good at it. They end up being the ones who practice the most and the ones who've done the most work every single day. And all the effort that they put in ends up making them better than everybody else. But you only ever really know that when you actually put in the work. And sure, some of them have this innate gift inside of them, but in the end, that gift only became as good as it did because of all the work that they put into it. So, it's kind of like that with a lot of sports animes. You watch them work really, really, really hard, and then you want to find something that you really like so you can put all your energy into it the same way these people did and have it actually mean something. That's what I think. I'm also a big fan of repetition type practice and work, as in the show, Gwaine, he wants to hit the ball the farthest and the hardest, I guess, and with the most precision. And to do this, he ends up practicing, saying that he practices hitting the ball 1,000 times every day. And then you have this other character, Lancelot, who says that his ability is to try to get, his skill is to get the ball into the hole at that very last point, and with all the bumps and stuff that gets in the way. And he says that he practices, again, doing it 1,000 times every single day. And their hands are all covered in wounds and blisters and stuff, but I guess after a while it gets easier and your hands become more used to it. Your skin gets tougher. But it proves that even in the beginning, they still did a lot of work to get through that pain and still end up succeeding and being good at it. I always thought that if I were to try to get good at something, that was the type of work I would do. I would just do it continuously over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. So seeing that other people also think that that's the way to go was fun to watch, I guess. You get to see all these characters that Gawain, the main character, he meets along the way, and it ends up starting with this teacher, this pro at golf, who teaches him the ropes and the basics. And then you have him actually join a competition, and then you have him actually join a school for golf, and there's continuous levels going up. And so a lot of times the characters you met for 3 episodes you don't see until later, right? But they end up coming back, and you can tell that they were still very important people in his life despite having seen them for only a short period of time. But it was obviously the favorites from like day one, number one fan that sticks around throughout the whole thing. And then, but you also, with each competition and each new arc, I guess, you get all these new characters and new connections, and it, makes you feel happy that this young kid is getting accepted despite his age and his abilities. But that's probably why I was hooked so much, because it wasn't just a group of the same characters continuing on. There was something new every episode, or every few episodes. I'm really hoping for a part 3, to be honest. I think that was the first 20 plus anime series that I've watched in a while. I've been sticking to a lot of 12 episode stuff recently, and all the more than 12 episode stuff I've just kind of been dragging out. So maybe it's just because I didn't watch it all in one sitting. And in this case I did, so that's probably why I was able to finish it in such a short amount of time. But now that it's completed, I really wish that there was more, and I feel like I'm excited almost to find out about how this is gonna go, because you get all this, it's about golf, sure, but there's also this like background drama going on that, you know, you really need to try to dissect and figure out what's actually really going on. And I hope that they dive into that more into the future. But all I can do is wait, I guess, or read the manga, whatever comes first. Yeah. I really liked the rivalry that they ended up having. A good sports show should definitely have a rival for the main character, or some sort of opponent or thing they have to fight against. And so, a fair match against. And so in this one, you meet this character obviously right off the bat, and this person who's levels ahead of them, but he ends up catching up to, and you think, are they just gonna constantly be around the same level and then just keep trying to one-up each other? But in the end, they end up becoming, they're rivals, sure, but they're also friends, and they are able to pull each other out of the mud whenever they're getting stuck, because they don't want to compete if the other one is having second thoughts or something going on the inside. And so the eventual introduction of a third rival caught me off guard. I was a little surprised, and it ended up being an almost three geniuses. Some of them a little more advanced than the others, but you could tell that if they all were completely level-headed and got through an entire game, it would be really close, and they would definitely be able to defeat anyone given enough time. And so I hope to one day see the three of them compete again, which will obviously happen, but like in later years when they've all kept keeping up their skills and working really hard. They're already working really hard, so it's hard to imagine them working any harder, but I'm sure that they'll find a way. But I hope that I can one day see a day where the main character, Gawain, ends up just being really good. Right now he's great, obviously, but you could tell that he's just gonna get so much better over time, and that's really the thing to look forward to in these sports animes, is that they keep getting better, not just immediately good. So yeah, I really like the three-way rivalry going on. The three of them all respect each other a lot, and I'm all for that. Aside from all that, I really like the sort of tutorial on golf that they gave. I've never ever seen anything on golf before, like ever, so this was definitely a first for me. And so being able to learn some stuff to, I don't know, maybe one day even just try a little indoor mini golf type stuff, I'd probably really enjoy that if I ever did that. So getting to learn about it beforehand was definitely nice. It's hard to say, obviously, whether or not what they said was like accurate completely to real life. You hope that it is, but if you don't know golf, then there's no way for you to tell what's really accurate and what's slightly more details involved. But I like knowing at least what golf is all about, and how tournaments actually work, and how all those different sticks are for, and what they all do, and the different things to practice. How it's not just hitting the ball into the thing in the least amount of times. Like, there's things you can practice, you know? Like different type of golfers, each with their own unique skill and talent. You know, some people are better at this thing, but not as well as the other two. I don't know, it's like you gotta practice all three. And so even Gawain, who wants to be the longest hitter in the world, basically wants to hit the ball all the way to the hole, from as far away as possible. he also has to practice the other two things of, you know, making it to the green and then eventually putting it into the hole despite the terrain. But I think he's a quick thinker. He's really good at thinking outside the box, not getting in his head about it. And so it'd be nice to learn something like that, just to, you know, really engrave that into your mind. But maybe it's because he's young that he just has that natural, don't think too much about it, don't get in your head about it. But I feel like I would definitely have liked to participate in something like that. I don't know, just feels like a good pastime, even if I would ever to get really involved with it. That's really all I have to say about Rising Impact. I would have gotten into, obviously, the characters more and stuff, ones that I liked, connections that I really enjoyed, but I just feel like if somebody were to have told me that stuff, I probably wouldn't have been able to enjoy it as much because I'd be constantly waiting for this one character to pop up or something, which works for some shows, but just in this one I just dove in without any prior knowledge, so I had a good time just watching and seeing where it went, and I don't want to spoil a single character because there's a lot of them and they, you know, keep popping up when you least expect it and you think, wow, this character is amazing. And I hope to see them again one day. So obviously I didn't say anything much, and aside from the characters that are there from the get-go and the obvious rivalry, which is every sports anime. So that's all I had to say. So I'll end it there. Deuces.